Hi, this is Lee with Alison from the Law School Toolbox and the Bar Exam Toolbox. Today we are sharing a top tip for passing the bar exam. Next up on our top tips is don't give the bar too much power. It's important, but it is not life or death. I feel like we have this conversation with both our current students and prospective students a lot because this test can really take on a life of its own.
Yeah, and I think this is a tricky one because, yes, the test is important. Like, we get that. It's very stressful. It's a hard thing. It's, potentially preventing people from supporting themselves and paying back their student loans. Some people may have a job that's at risk. Like, there are really big things riding on this test. I get that. However, at the same time, I don't think focusing on those things that are riding on you passing or not passing is actually going to help you pass.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, it's still a test. It's an important test with consequences, but it's still a test. You have taken lots of tests over the years.
And the question on the test is, how do you accumulate points? And when you look at it like that, it's like, okay, well, let's actually figure out what pieces I might be able to get more points on. How can I get more points when I'm not getting points? Like everybody's better and worse at certain things. It's like, what do you want to focus on? The MBE has 7 topic areas. That's fewer than the essays. Like, do you want to put more time and energy there? I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying this is like how I would analyze the situation.
Yeah, 100%. And, when I look at somebody's scores, I often approach it from that point of like, where are we going to find some cushion? Where are your strength areas and how can we collect more points there? It's not... you can be strategic about this test. It is a game. You do still have to do all the heavy lifting that we've been talking about, but it is important to keep it in its place. And I think where folks really find that it becomes impossible or almost that they are frozen and can't move forward is when they just feel that the stakes are too high. I think back in the early days of us doing this work, we have a really great podcast. No, it wasn't even pre-podcast. This was a blog post. This is how long this has been around, a blog. But we had a blog that was very popular. But the blog post was like the question no one asked me. And it was basically someone who had failed the bar once was shocked that out in the real world, when she was practicing law, no one had any idea that she'd ever failed the bar. Nobody cared. Nobody looked at when she passed them. Like the only people who I think really look at those sorts of dates are people like us when we hire, because we ask how many bars you took and did you pass them.
Right. But even then, we've hired people who didn't pass the bar the first time. We have people working for us who failed the bar.
Yes, because they have great lessons learned. And, there are all sorts of things. So it's really just, in the end, a blip on your career, but it does feel so big. So if you need to create some mindfulness practices, to try and walk in nature, to do whatever, coping mechanisms that work for you to keep it in its place, I think that that's really important. And you also have to make sure that that the anxiety from other things happening in the world, it doesn't also spiral in and make it bigger than it is this one thing that you can control.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's the thing. It's like, yes, it's important, but it's also not that important, which is a fine balance to strike.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a like and leave us a comment if you have any questions about anything. And stay tuned for more bar exam tips.